I want to welcome you again to this YouTube program, Walking with God in the Garden. This is a wonderful season of the year for gardening. I hope that some of you who are watching this program will take the time to plant a seed, or maybe purchase a plant, put it in the ground, water it, fertilize it, and enjoy its growth. I'm enjoying so much this time of the year because it's an opportunity to get outside, till the soil, and work it to plant the seeds of the crops that I wish to harvest. So I'm harvesting already. It's early in the season here in Southern California, but in reality, it's probably better than most of you who are watching this program who live on the East Coast or the Midwest. But as we share together here, walking with God in the garden, I hope that your garden is flourishing. It's wherever you live. It's whatever you do. Maybe it's a job that you have or a relationship that you're in. I know some people are finding it difficult in their garden. Financially, they're hard-pressed. Many people are going through a very difficult time during this season. It's an economical season of woe for many people. Those of us who live here in Southern California are well aware of the woes that so many people have. The garden that they're living in is homelessness. What can we do about it? Well, one thing that we need to do about it is to incorporate God in our lives, the best that we know how. I know it's difficult to talk to a person about God when they're hungry, but we try here in the various programs that I'm involved in, making sandwiches, serving meals, and even being charitable to those who are in great need. If you're one of those people today and you find yourself in difficulty, maybe struggling with pain, suffering, the older we get and the more of that we get as well. And we know that sometimes we go through the real crises of life, which has to do with the death of a loved one. I deal very much with that in my life. This week again, I'll be doing funerals and trying to comfort people in their time of loss and bereavement. At the same time, though, I think of my garden, and it's so incorporate of so many different aspects of life. I teach, I preach, I am a gardener. I'm also a person who tries to give comfort in times of loss and counsel. So in the garden of my life, it's a very varied garden. It's the physical garden that I love and enjoy being in and spending my time walking with God in the cool of the day. But I realize that that garden is more incorporate as well. But what do we do when we encounter people who are having difficulty? What words can we come up with? I've been in the presence sometimes of people who are in terrible pain, great agony. And I must admit, it's not always easy to find words of comfort. And possibly there have even been times when I have said something that has, in reality, provoked people, made them angry. Perhaps they thought, what does he know about my situation? And friends, it's true. Unless I walk in those shoes of the people who are living and suffering, I really don't know even to find the right words. It's easy to incorporate pious platitudes with people. And I have one today. Job is a man who is deeply suffering. And his 3 friends come. Eventually there's a 4th one. And they have words that they have chosen, I'm sure wisely, to give Job some comfort. Let me share these words of Eliphaz today as he speaks to Job. And this, by the way, is a passage that I'm sure you've heard before. It's incorporated in the New Testament. And perhaps it's something that the New Testament writers picked out of the Old Testament from the book of Job and used it for a word of comfort. Let me read it for you from Job chapter 5, verse 17. Blessed is the man whom God corrects. So do not despise the discipline of the Almighty. And then these words, for he wounds, but he also binds up. He injures, but his hands also heal. Well, there are two aspects that we have here. And one is that God is always aware of our situation. There are times, frankly, when he does punish us or chastises us to bring us again in line. We can get off center, and God needs somehow to punish or to adjust our lives. And it says, happy is the man, blessed is the man who sees that what is happening in his life is really from God. It is to bring correction, maybe a new thought, a new idea, a new relationship with him. So today, friends, whatever your circumstance might be, consider it in the light of these words that this man was telling Job. Blessed or happy are you because you're going through this, and God is using it to correct you. But he doesn't leave you there. And notice what else he has to say. And I read these words. Yes, God wounds, but he also binds up. Yes, he injures, but his hands also heal. So we don't live in the midst of despair forever. We take into consideration that there's a reason for what is happening in our lives. Whatever the reason might be, maybe it's because of something you did that brought it on. Maybe it's been a bad relationship. Maybe you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. There are so many things that can happen in our lives to make us rethink our lives. I hope that you do. There is nothing that lasts forever. Remember that. In the midst of all the rain and all the storm, there is quietness and stillness, and there's sunshine. The writer says, yes, God wounds, but he also binds up. Yes, he injures, but he also heals. So today, my word for you is look for the brighter side. Look in the midst of, as we also know, in adversity for the promise of goodness. God always has purpose that takes us far beyond the negative. He will bring us into the positive. He will bring us out of despair into hope, and out of anger and frustration into his love. Trust him, and he will do that. May God bless you today as you face this week. Remember, and I'm encouraging you today, to share the news of this YouTube program. You can do it by subscribing to this program, and also just pick it up by telling people it's at Richard Hall's 1449. God bless you. Have a wonderful week. We love you and appreciate you so much.